Hi, everyone, and welcome to AllTrack September announcements. Just like that, August is behind us. I swear it felt like that month went so fast. But of course, with a new month comes new updates and new changes. And this month is a doozy of one, so let's hop right on in it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to hop into AllTrack to take a look at some of the changes that have already taken place that you may or may not have noticed. So right here in our scheduler, this is a page that's very familiar for most of you. And this is where a lot of our changes for the very end of August and beginning of September have already started to take place. We really like to make sure that on this screen, it's a very quick visual reference of the exact standing of your appointments and what's going on with them. With that in mind, right down here at the bottom of the screen, we've added a couple of other visual references in there, new icons that are going to appear on the appointments. And we did put this key down here at the bottom to help you kind of navigate that until you learn them and memorize them. One of my very favorite changes that has happened is now right here at this appointment, Mr. William Shatner in green, you can see that there's a clipboard on there with a check mark, which indicates, according to our key at the bottom of a page, that there is a completed inspection attached to this appointment. So as a service advisor in the front, without any technician communication, I can actually hover over this and see that inspection report had 7 items, 4 passed, 2 warnings, and 1 failed. The ball is in my court now as the service advisor to know that I need to follow up with this customer. I can click into his account and scroll down and actually view that inspection. Of course, my technician is going to have attached notes as well as some images in there that I can use to communicate with my customer. I can actually give a phone call right here to that customer, let him know, hey, Mr. Shatner, this is Regina with Point S. I'm calling to let you know that there were some items that we noticed during your inspection report. I'm going to text you over a copy of that inspection report right now. If you don't mind taking a look at that while I'm on the phone with you, there's some pictures and some notes from the technician on there. Would you care to discuss those, or can I take care of those for you today? Now your customer has a picture that's worth 1,000 words, knows exactly what's going on with their vehicle. But it's also saved your service advisors a lot of time of having to go back and forth between the technician, go gather more information, then call the customer again if they had further questions. It really streamlines the customer communication process, as well as making your customer feel very empowered and very knowledgeable with exactly what's going on with their vehicle to make the best choice for their service. As we hop back out here onto our scheduler, please ignore my Wi-Fi. You can also see now when there are notes attached. So for example, this little sticky note, you can put in customer comments in here. This is also a great option for when you're creating a new customer and you put in that new vehicle information. If you don't have all of the required fields, you can actually enter in staff notes on that screen, and they will appear as a note right here. So that when your customer comes in, you can say, great, Mr. Kermit, I see here that you have a 2012 BMW. I just need to gather a little bit more information off of that for you. And then you can fill in the rest of those fields while they're actually present and you have access to that information. The other thing that was a lot of change is here in our settings. We've really kind of streamlined again that process of creating inspection reports. You get to create and customize your inspection reports, which is really amazing. And it's one of my favorite things about AllTrack is that in these settings, you get to customize based on your teams, your locations, your communities, exactly how it performs for you. For example, if you have a relationship with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, you can actually make their own custom inspection reports in here, put it in your settings so that as soon as they check that vehicle out, they actually get that inspection report with images and notes attached to it, emailed to them, and you can just clean your hands off for that because you're done for the day on that service. The big change that we also made is down here. You can actually now create these preset notes. You were able to do that in the past, but it wasn't really a good workflow of how to create those. So we've actually streamlined that process a lot. We're going to have a separate training that's really going to get into the nuts and the bolts of how to do that outside of this general announcement. So please make sure that you keep an eye on our AllTrack Support YouTube page, because we're also, for our more visual learners, going to be creating these guides of how to create and how to perform basic functions in AllTrack. So how to schedule an appointment, for example, and just focusing on that one part of the process. for your technicians, how to complete an inspection. And then we're also going to start going through these settings and adding these videos there too, just because there's a lot of information housed in there for getting a new location set up, or again, customizing your location to your needs. Now, some of our other announcements that we have that are coming up and they're pending and not live just yet is the schedule is going to start doing something really amazing. Let's say, for example, that you had a really long appointment in here, and then you had this appointment right here next to it. So if you had an entire bay that was full here, Mr. William Shatner, let's say, for example, that his appointment actually only took an hour. When he checks out, what will happen is this box will now automatically adjust down to the time that the appointment actually took, which will now free up a space in between it and the following appointment that you can now fit another appointment in there. So it's going to really actually be a real-time great way to make sure that your schedule is accurate and also to give you the opportunity to fill it for the day. We're also going to have that timer that displays on these appointment cards to let you know exactly how long a vehicle has been up on the rack and work started on it. Now, this is really great for our service advisors for when a customer calls in and says, hey, how much longer left on my vehicle? You don't have to put them on pause. You don't have to step away from the desk. You don't have to disturb the technician that's working on the vehicle. You'll be able to see that work has not only started on it, but how long it's been in process. And you can say, absolutely, Mr. Shatner, I see they've started work on it. They've had it up on the rack for about 45 minutes. So you've got about 15 minutes to go. You might want to go ahead and start heading this way. We're also going to have an easier workflow for vehicle finished messages. So whenever a vehicle is finished, you will be able to quickly and efficiently notify your customer that that vehicle is ready to be picked up. We're also going to start really excited looking at the customer portal first release. Now, again, once we get a little bit closer to actually releasing that customer portal, I'll create a separate video that goes into, again, a lot more of detail of exactly what's going to be housed there, what it looks like. We'll do some first looks at it and everything else and walk through that process. We're going to have a new technician flow. So one of the things for the technicians right now is, they can kind of see all of the appointments that they have ahead of them in the day. But now moving forward, what will happen is if you assign a work order specifically to a certain technician, they will only be able to see that work order, and they will only be able to see the work orders that are assigned to them within an hour. Now, if they don't have any work orders assigned to them for that specific hour, they will be able to see other appointments that are maybe coming up that they can look forward to. But as for ones that are checked in, they will only be able to see the ones that are available within that hour. This is going to be really great for keeping them from getting overloaded when they look at their work screen and kind of keep them organized so that you don't have so many appointments that are showing all at once on there. We're also going to be cleaning up the appointment editing screen. This will just kind of be a little bit of user interface on our stuff to make it look a little bit better. And then, of course, we're going to continue some bug fixes. We know that at the beginning of this week, we did have some bumps when we rolled out some of those changes. Most of those have been cleared up by now, but we want to really make sure that this is polished up and perfect as we go along. So if you have any further questions, of course, you know how to reach me by now, hopefully, but if not, 971-201-5512 is my cell phone. I really like it, and to remind people that if you have an error or you have a question about a particular screen, save yourself a big long email of trying to explain to me exactly what you're experiencing or seeing. Just take a picture of that screen and you can actually just text it right over to me. And if I have further questions, I'll definitely reach out and we can touch base. Please give me as much information as possible. If you can give me a specific customer name or a work order number, that's extremely helpful for me to be able to resolve those issues for you. You can also email me, reginalee@pointstire.com, if maybe you have something a little bit more lengthy that you want to discuss, or of course, give me a call. I'm always here to help and support you. And with that, my friends, welcome to September. I hope you have an amazing month filled with a lot of wonderful successes. I look forward to seeing a lot of new members that I'm going to meet, actually, that I haven't met yet next week over in our Vermont team. And of course, any of you that are already using AllTrack, I really look forward to continuing to support you in this next month. Thank you so much. Have a great day.